Yo, Bo, welcome to another episode of In the Life of MightyFan. We got a vehicle vlog. Somewhat of a lengthy trip I'm taking today. It's a place I haven't been to in quite a while. That sells a bunch of like Indian food, like Hindu food and snacks and all sorts of. All right, which way do I have to go? Now I'm trying to think. Okay, I want to take the blue route. Okay, so anyhow, this place sells a lot of it, a lot of really good stuff. It's been too long since I've been there last. I think the last time I went there was during the pandemic, which is pretty crazy to think about it. It's a place called Patel's, and for those of you who don't know, the last name Patel for Hindus are pretty much, it's like the last name Smith here in America. My mom's last name, my mom's middle name is Patel, actually. So Patel is a very common name in India and for Hindus. So there's this place called Patel's. It's a little trip away, but they have all sorts. I mean, everything I like is there. Like all the stuff that I grew up with, and snacks and different stuff. Really, really good stuff. And I'm sure there's other places, probably maybe even closer to here, that sell a lot of good stuff. But I mean, you know, creature of habit. You know, I've gone there for a number of years. So I'm like, you know what? It's kind of a lazy Sunday, not much going on. Let me go over to Patel's. It's been a while. So, and I'm not taking the Mini Cooper because I don't have AC in there and it's a hot day. So I'm taking the Jeep with the air conditioner. I have to get gas anyhow. Probably on the way home. So I figure, it's an opportunity to do a little vehicle vlog here on the way to Patel's. And, you know, so taking you all with me for the ride, right? It's a fun thing to do. It's not quite a scoot as the Philly Captain does, but it's a vehicle vlog. So let's see if I can get over it. Oh my God! Yesterday, almost had an accident. There was I did a little like morning grocery shopping, and I'm coming home, and it's like a one-lane road both ways. One of the roads I was taking. This guy in a freaking Lexus SUV jets in front of me from one of the side streets. And then he proceeds to, he's one of those that, you know, he had to get in front of me because, I mean, why not, you know? And then he's one of those that puts the turn signal on late. And he puts that turn signal on, he's ready to turn. It's not even a block from where he got in front of me. And I mean, I had to thank God the brakes. I was in the Jeep, thank God the brakes are good. Because and it was raining too. So I hydroplaned a little bit. And I mean, if I would have hit it, it would have been my fault. And the guy has a freaking Lexus, so, you know, it is what it is. You know, I hate people like that. Like, people like that, I just don't believe belong on the road at all. They're ignorant, they're stupid. The way I drive, I just assume everyone around me is an idiot when it comes to driving. And most of the time, there's no issues, but you gotta be on alert, you know? I'm not the world's greatest driver, Slim can tell you. I have my flaw. He goes for the oh shit bar every now and then when he's riding with me, but which is this, by the way. But look, listen. I mean, you really do have to keep your head on a swivel. I mean, you know, you just have to assume everyone around you is stupid. Particularly certain times of day, certain makes of vehicles. Yeah, you know, you pay how many thousands of dollars for a car, and I guess your turn signal doesn't work. I guess, or your gas pedal seems to have a problem. You know, but you can tell the kind of things that annoy me, right? Watching this series, you kind of can tell the type of things that annoy me. You know, that kind of stuff in bicyclists. They just are on the road and they think it belongs to them. You're on a bike. Anyhow, so where am I going with all this? So yeah, I'm on my way to Patel's. Survived a near accident yesterday. Probably shouldn't have been at that Phillies game yesterday. You know the thing about this is like just my luck. So, by the way, the trip to Slim's went really well last week. I really need a shave, don't I? I'll get to that tomorrow. But went really good. Had a lot of fun. Shot as always to Slim. Going back there in a couple weeks for a Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top concert. Oh my. Now, Slim's a huge Skinner fan. And the opportunity came up to see this concert. And I'm like, you know what? I mean, I'm not a huge fan, but Slim is. And, you know, Slim's a good friend. And, you know, the opportunity to hang with him, seeing his favorite band. Or, well, I guess not the original members aren't there. But, you know, I mean, the music of his favorite band. Yeah, I mean, that's a cool thing. We'll have to get Slim to a Deftones concert sometime. He can go into mosh pit with it today. Nope. Nope, I can see Slim now. So, but it's going to be cool, you know. I mean, you think about Leonard Skinner and you think about ZZ Top, you think about some of the absolute legends of rock and roll, and I'm a rock and roll guy, you know. I mean, I love, yeah, look, I love the 90s hip hop, you know, and whatever, but I mean, when it comes right down to it, I mean, rock is probably my favorite, you know, genre, metal, rock, you know, that type of stuff. Grunge from the 90s, you know, stuff like that. Deftones is my favorite group, so, you know, a chance to see some of the all-time greats in concert, yeah, I mean, that's a cool thing, you know, that's, you know, you respect the groups that did it, you know, some of the best in the business. And, I mean, I certainly remember ZZ Top growing up and, you know, so many memorable songs, and obviously Skinner and their, you know, history and their portfolio is incredible. So, a chance to see some of the legends do it, I mean, it's a pretty cool thing. So I look forward to that. It's in a few weeks. It's Labor Day weekend, so I'll be heading back down to Maryland. It was fun. It was a good time. We had an interesting day though on Monday. That was something. We had a big storm went through there, and Slim and I kind of rode it out at this sports bar at Green Turtle. We got back to his place and it was a blackout. Like the whole road was just blacked out, all the buildings, and we so we were just we brought some food back from why am I blanking on the name all of a sudden? Royal Farms, and we were eating it under the light of our phones. And Slim's speaker still had juice in it from being charged, and so he had some music going. And there's these railroad tracks not far from him, and I told him, I said, let's, you know, because he every now and then he likes to, you know, see if he can catch a train, go by, freight train or whatever. And oh my, okay, wasn't expecting that. Oh shit, women in bikinis back there. That was that was fun, but I lost my train of thought. I might look like, ooh. So anyhow, we yeah, after that I'm out now. Good Lord. So yeah, so there's these train tracks, and I'm like, well, why don't we just go down there and, you know, I mean, everything's blacked out, let's just see if we can catch a train. And we're literally walking out. I walked off the front porch, and they have these outdoor motion sensor lights, and they turned on, and all the lights turned on. So the power came back, and Slim's like, all right, let's go back in. Both of us are like, yeah, let's go back in. And but that was probably the interesting way to finish off the trip there that Monday. But so I stayed until Tuesday afternoon. Originally I was going to head home that Monday night, but it makes sense to do it then. And I took Tuesday off too. So we had a lot of fun. We had some time in the pool. Saw Nostalgia Boy, saw D. Got a jersey deal done with D while in the pool. Never stops. It never stops. So, it was a good time. It was a good trip. And a good time with a good friend. So, that's always fun. And now, so anyhow, so obviously I was really, come back Tuesday evening, then work on Wednesday, and I was just tired. I was like, I had a Phillies game on my schedule Wednesday night against Washington, and I'm like, you know what, I'm pretty tired. I don't know if I'm going to make this. I got work again the next day. I mean, they're playing the Nationals. I'm pretty sure it's going to be hopefully they can get a win there. And but I'm sitting there at work on Wednesday afternoon, and I always have the sports talk on, and in the back of my mind I'm going, something could happen tonight. It could be a no-hitter or something like that, because the Nationals aren't a very good team. Phillies are a pretty good team. Not to say that, you're going to have no-hit. No-hitter is a very rare thing. Maybe more, it's done more today than, like, yesteryear, but it's still, it's a rare thing. But I just, in the back of my mind, I'm going, there could be something special tonight. Maybe I should try to make it. And by the time I got home, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to make it. I have another game on Saturday. I got work in the morning. I'm tired. I don't want to, have an accident or something. I'll just sit at home. But you know how you always are supposed to listen to your instinct, right? So, of course, Wednesday night, Lorenzen throws a no-hitter for the and it was a big night. Like this Wilson, this rookie got called up. He hits a home run his first at-bat. Nick Castellanos gets his 200th career home run. And Lorenzen pitches a no-hitter, a complete game no-hitter. Now I'm sitting there, I'm watching, as the innings are getting later, I'm like, he's going to throw a no-hitter. He's going to throw a no-hitter. I could have been there. And I'm getting upset with myself. I could have been there. I should be there. I should be there. And then I filmed the last out on at home, and I posted it on my Facebook. I was happy that a Philly threw a no-hitter, but I was still upset at myself for not being there. I'm like, why didn't I go to this game? I don't miss many games. If it's on my plan, I go to just about all of them. It's 17 games a year, but I just didn't. And then I get more chagrined yesterday because I go to the game yesterday and they got blown out 8-1 by the Twins. And I'm like, see, I should have done this thing. I should have gone to the game on Wednesday and not go to this one and watch the Eagles preseason game. And, okay, so I missed an 8-1 loss. I mean, I left early, too. I'm like, hell with this. It was hot. They were losing 8-1. I'm just happy there was no like epic comebackers. That would have sucked. That would. But I just had the feel. I had like the feeling when the Twins made it 3-0. I got this feeling like this is a loss. This isn't going to be good. I know the offense has been good, but the Phillies are one of those teams like they'll score a bunch of runs. Like they scored 13 runs on Friday. So yeah, they score a lot of runs one game and then they'll get shut out or 1 or 2 runs the next. They're pretty good at doing that, even though they have a very potent lineup. But I'm hoping they win today. Got to keep winning series, man. Right now they're first in the wild card for the National League. I mean, the Braves, as I said before, the freaking Braves, they're going to win they win the division every damn year, so why would this year be any different? Although we did beat them last year in the playoffs when they had a division title, but they didn't go further than that. But it's always a good time at the ballpark. There was a Wall of Fame night for them last night. They were honoring some of the guys who were instrumental in building that 70s and 80s team. Ruley Carpenter and Scott Rowland is part of the Wall of Fame this year, but he wasn't there, so they're having his night like in September. Yeah, I always liked Rowland when he was a Philly. Like, I know he became kind of a public enemy around here because some of the comments that he made after he left, but I mean, looking back on it, I don't think he was 100% wrong. I mean, back then the Phillies organization wasn't very good. They weren't putting a lot of money on the product, and they were losing year after year. I mean, I remember those years, So he goes to St. Louis, and that became baseball heaven. But it's not baseball heaven this season, is it? This was more baseball heaven than St. Louis is this year. He was a heck of a ball player. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, that could be debated, but does he have a spot on the Phillies Wall of Fame? I don't know if he was here long enough, to be honest. But he was productive when he was here. He was a Gold Glover. He was an All-Star. He was a really good player. I mean, he was a good ball player. I mean, so they're going to honor him, I guess, in September when he's actually able to make it to the game. He was always a bit of a strange guy, Rowland. He was a bit of an oddball, but he was a great ball player. There's no doubt about that. He could pick it at third, and he was a pretty good hitter. One of my first favorite Phillies, actually, was Scott Rowland. I thought it was kind of funny yesterday while I was at the game. I was in the men's room. I'm washing my hands, and this guy come by me, and he's like, "Ooh!" And I'm wearing a because it's alumni weekend for the Phillies. So they're honoring the 83 and 93 National League pennant winning teams, right? It's the anniversaries, 40 and 30 and 40 years respectively. And obviously I was too young for the 83 team. But certainly the 93 team is what, welcomed me to the Phillies, right? So I'm wearing my John Kruk 93, World Series Mitchell and Ness jersey. It was entirely too hot to wear that last night, but I was wearing it. And and someone walks by me and they're like, "Ooh," he sees the jersey and he's like, Oh man, I thought that was an Ibanez jersey. I was going to give you props. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't say this, but I'm thinking, wait a minute. I'm wearing a John Kruk 93 World Series jersey, but a Raul Ibanez would have gotten the props. Because he wore the same number. He wore 29 when he was here. I mean, all due respect to Raul, right? But seemed like a little bit of a younger guy too, so he probably didn't remember John Kruk playing or that 93 team. Because it has the numbers on the sleeve, so you can see the 29 on the sleeve. And so that was kind of funny. That was like one of those Jersey head funny kind of moments, right? But yeah, they took one on the chin. I have no idea why anyone throws Joey Gallo any kind of strike. The guy's a strikeout machine, and I know we have a player like that on our team in Schwarber. He's one of those all or nothing guys, right? He's either going to hit a home run, he's going to walk, or he's going to strike out, right? But Gallo goes 4 for 4 last night. And I'm like, that guy, you never have to throw a strike to him. He's a free swinger. Well, he strikes out like a machine. Why are you even throwing anything near where he can hit the ball? When he hits it, it goes a long way. I don't know. The art of baseball sometimes gets away. And what is this guy doing? Yo! What are we doing? There's no stoplight. This is a curve. Let's go. Gas pedal. And it's not even a Lexus or BMW either, or Mercedes. I don't even know what it is. It's kind of silver vehicle. But yeah, you knew it was a bad night for the Phillies when Joey Gallo goes 4 for 4. That's not good. That's bad baseball. That's that was a bad one for the Phillies. Look at this guy. Look. First day in the road, jackass. God damn it. Guy's like looking around like what are you stopping for? God damn it, get me away from that moron. Anyhow, yeah, you can see it doesn't take much. Push my buttons. So yeah, disappointing game last night, and I think so. I sit in 422, and I think a couple rows behind, I think there was like one Twins fan up there, and you can hear him because he's like, every time a Philly would strike out, he's like, "Yep," and every time a Twins, "Yep," and he'd be up there. Yeah, you know, every now and then the Philly fan does want to come out, and I'm sitting there, and it's hot. The team's losing, and I didn't say anything. But you know, I had some ammunition to use. Oh my God, I was gonna. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't want to say this stuff. I want to, but I don't. I was gonna say, hey, why don't you win a playoff series? Then we can talk about yep. Like, the Phillies won more playoff series in one playoff season last season than the Twins won since Kirby Puckett was there. Yep. I got stuff. I was like, you know, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, like, yo, urinating tree on YouTube calls you guys the T's because there's no win in Twins in the playoffs. I got your yep. I have nothing against the Twins. Shout out to Jake. But no, when I'm hot, my team's losing, it's not a good thing. It's a bad combo wombo right there. It's a nice day today, but it's freaking hot. Have I said this before? I hate the summer heat, the humidity. This is like the worst for me. I could, like, I'm thinking as I got home yesterday, I'm like, I can, you know what, snow, rain, leaves. Okay, the summer heat and humidity, that's where I have to draw the line. And people love it. People love the heat. People love the sun. Oh, we're going to get, you know, all this at the shore and this and that. I'm like, no. Give me that crisp fall air anytime over this. It just engulfs you, you know? It's like, oh my goodness. So anyhow, jersey-wise, couple pickups. I did get something from D. I got something from Adam. I got something from Ios. I still have to get the deal complete. And you know, D as well, but you know, we're getting there. We're gonna complete these deals by early September. They'll all be completed. Life of a jersey head, it never stops. I mean, it just deals, doing stuff, moving and grooving. But I watched. I wasn't on Rez's live, but I did watch it this week. And some interesting takeaways from it. I know Rez brought up the jerseys, like the throwback jerseys that teams are going to wear, the fuse, you know. I wish I could have been on that live because, you know, they brought up the Kelly Greens, and I guess I kind of came up in that as why would you go to pick up another, get all excited to go pick up another Kelly Green when you have so many in the collection. I mean, I can't, you know, it's one of those things where it's like I grew up, that's the exact uniform with the full eagle on the sleeves that I grew up with. That's when I became an Eagles fan, it was that uniform. So that's why that one will always have the nostalgia for me. Yeah, nostalgia, it's like anything else. Why do people collect stuff from their childhood? Like when I see certain things at like Target, like figures, look in those wrapping on the cards that look exactly like the type of stuff that when I was young and going to Toys R Us and everything, that it got me so crazed, right? It stays with you. It's in your feels, you know. Like when I see something from my youth pop up, some sort of like nostalgia commercial, they'll use something. Maybe it's like a Ghostbusters thing. Maybe it's like a, you know, if you see like, you know, Knight Rider, or, you know, the A-Team, anything, Dukes of Hazzard, any of that stuff, right? He-Man, G.I. Joe, all that stuff. That's what I grew up with, you know, obviously. You know, Mighty was my first favorite, you know, one of my first favorite, you know, characters, but, you know, there's a lot of things that I liked when I was younger, right? Like any other person would, right? So when you see that stuff, yeah, I mean, it gets you, you know, it gets you in the fields. And it's the same with sports. You know, you see a uniform brought back from when you were young, and this is your first impression of the team, of being a fan. Yeah, it's gonna hit you, you know. And as a collector, it's both. I'm a fan, but I'm also a collector. So here's my chance of getting a current player in this old throwback jersey that I grew up with. And you know, Snacks brought up the collar. Like, oh, you want the collar so it shows that it's a jersey from today. I don't know. And I know that that's how they wear the collar, but for me, and it's not to say I won't pick up a Fuse jersey. Maybe I will, but I like that old school looking collar. You know, yeah, it's not what they're gonna wear, but it reminds me again of how they wore it, you know, when I was growing up. So when I had a chance to get the Jalen Hurts at that event at the link, I went with the one with the older looking collar because A, it was cheaper. Let's be honest. And B, I just, you know, it just reminded me more of how that jersey was. So I think that's the reason why I did it. And yeah, a lot of those throwback jerseys when I get them are probably going to have that older collar. A, the jersey is cheaper, and B, it just looks more throwback that way. Now I know that it's today, and today it's going to be a, you know, this technology, that technology on the jersey, but you know, I mean, I could still have a jersey of today, and it could still have that throwback look to it. I think this is where I turn. I hope this is where I turn. I'm turning. I'm moving. Yeah, this is it. It's been forever since I've been this way. So I think that's why I did what I did. And as far as why, you know, well, I'm not, you know, saying I'm upset with anybody, but why do I have so many of one jersey? It's just because it's what I like, you know. And I'm not saying that they were saying, you know, this was said to get me, you know, but it's like, yeah, I mean, everyone has their own collection and their own way of doing things. And I know I have a lot of, you know, particular jerseys of particular teams. It's just because I like the jersey. I mean, I can't, you know, I like what I like, you know. And with the Eagles, it's a different kind of like, because I like the jersey, but I'm also a fan. And I mean, you know, the Kelly Greens have always been my favorite. Maybe they've had their most success in my lifetime wearing midnight green, but the Kelly Green has always been there. It's always been that nostalgia feel. So that's what I grew up with, you know. So I kind of, you know, you latch onto it, you know. So I have a lot of Kelly Green, and shout out to Rez for that, getting that Jerome Brown. But the Kelly Green in that particular style with the full bird on the sleeves, that will always be my favorite. And you know, so when they brought that one back, and that exact one back with the silver pants and the helmet, and that Kelly Green helmet with the silver wings, that you know, it's not just me. A lot of Eagle fans, it just had a feel to it, because we wanted to see them bring that back for so long. It wasn't just that we love that jersey. We wanted to see them in it again for such a long time. And so I think you had that culmination at that event with a lot of fans there. It was an event. It was like, as an Eagle fan, I'm glad I went to it. It was something that I was glad to be a part of, because it wasn't just being a jersey head and it's a jersey related thing, but I'm a fan, and I'm with my fellow fans outside of our stadium for this event, talking to people, you know, stories of the past or whatever, or how the team looks this year or whatever, just being a part of it, you know. And it's something that I'm always going to be glad I did and went to. I'm not happy that I missed that no-hitter, but this past Wednesday night, but I'm happy I went to that event, and I was glad to have the opportunity to do that. It was a cool thing. But you know, I get it. It's not for not everyone's gonna understand it. It's just, you know. And again, I'm not saying people are hating, and I'm not hating saying this, but it's hard for me to explain to people who aren't Eagle fans. It's just, it's not going to be in your feels the way it is for me. And I'm not saying that as a shot, but it's just how I feel. I wish I could have been on that live. I mean, you did have a panel of 2 Patriot fans, a Raider fan and a Niner fan, talking about the Eagles and the Kelly Greens. I'm like, yeah, I should have probably been on here for that one. But it is what it is. Raz, as always, does a great job with his lives just about every week. He does them every Wednesday night, just about. And you had Mac on there, you know, and Adam. I know Jake was on there for a bit. Snacks was on there. Rez, you know, obviously it's his live. Boy, they're really into those bootleg shirts, boy. They keep trying. Like, I see them, I'm like, I get it. It's just not my thing, but I get it. I heard that there might be a Barkley shirt made. I do think it's kind of a shame if that shirt gets done before the jersey, but you know, it is what it is. I had to throw a little shot. I had to. I'm like, man, if I was on that panel, Mac may have heard something from me about the jerseys that we've been waiting on. And there's always true. So, I'm going to get them one way or another. Just let them know. I'll get them one way or another. Don't worry. They'll happen. Of course, if I do buy them from True and Mac gets them done, I'll still get them from you. Mac, I'm a man of my word. So you make them, I'll get them from you. But you can only expect people, you know, you can only expect me to wait so long. It's been a while. Now you're getting into t-shirts. Like, let's not forget those jerseys there are outstanding there, buddy. Let's not forget about those. But good live as always from Rez this past week. I know there's a few series I haven't. I know the week in review. I'll probably get back to that this week, and also the Ross vlogs. I'm hoping to do one this week. Burlington maybe too. You know, we'll see. We'll just see how the week goes. But I do hope to get back to those two series. Man, I haven't been down this road in forever. In fact, this road takes you past my old community college, Montco, and yeah, there's some years there. See, I used to take night classes because of my work schedule, and I always say it's one of the great achievements that you can do to get your diploma, because it's a lot of hard work, but you just got to stick with it. It took me forever to get through college. I mean, it really did, because of the schedule. I could only take a class or two a semester at night. You know, you're tired after work, coming out all the way out here. You can see how long this trip was, and Montco's right over here. So, you know, those were not easy years to get through, but I did it, and then I went, you know, got my, degree also from Cabrini, that's no longer there. Cabrini closed. Now Villanova owns the property. It's a shame. I really liked Cabrini in my years there. It was a smaller school, and but I got through it. And I always remember, the last class I needed to pass was math, and it was my worst subject, and I failed a math course. And you know, with college, it's all about, like at any school environment, it's all about the professor, it's all about the teacher. If you get a good teacher, you're going to be okay. If you get a bad teacher, and if it's a subject you struggle in, you might as well just forget it. For me, the last course I had to take for Cabrini for my college years was a math course, and the one semester I took it, I failed it. It was terrible. The teacher was horrible. I'm not trying to make excuses, but it was just not good. And then I took it, I had to take it again, so I took it again. It was the last course I took, and the teacher was outstanding. Taught it in a way that made it easy to understand, and I really I really applied myself, because I knew it was the last class I ever had to take, and it was math. And I got through it, I got an A, and to me it was like a walk-off home run, you know, because it was all those years of just school, and, you know, I have ADD, so for me, any kind of learning disability, it makes it that much tougher. And, you know, to go through school, and to go through those years. But I got through it, and I'm glad I did. I mean, the diploma on the wall proves it, and it's a point of pride for me. It was not an easy thing, balancing a job and school and doing all that. But I'll tell you, if I can get through it, anybody can. You know, it's an important thing, and I think college is an important thing. The one thing I didn't like was, I think college, it should be more about prepping you for the, you know, for work environments. I don't understand why certain courses are still taking, like if you have to still take certain things, right? If, you know, like math and science and history, if it has nothing to do with what you're doing as a profession, when you get to the college level, I think it should be more about prepping you for work, or if you're already in the industry, giving you more experience, right? So I never quite understood why you had to still take these things. Like, once you get through high school, it should be over for certain things. I'm not saying you never should stop learning, because there's always room to grow with learning. But in college, I think the thing about that was that you were in those, you know, you had those time-sensitive stuff like projects, if you had a group project, you know, and stuff like that. So it kind of taught you a lot of that kind of stuff for real-world environments, right? Because at work, you know, we have projects, you have a time limit, you have to get this done by this date, you make little, you know, goals for yourself to get this done, this done, this done, like that, you know? And a lot of that you kind of hone in when you're in college and doing these projects or papers or whatever. And the classes that I always got the most out of were, it was hands-on. It was projects. It wasn't tests and exams, you know, midterm and final. Those classes, I mean, listen, I did what I had to do to get through the test. But if you were to ask me what I took away from those classes, it's next to nothing. Because, I mean, you cram so much just to try to remember it, just to get these answers on a test. But you're not, it's not like you're not hands-on, you're not doing anything, right, other than that. The classes that I had projects in, that I had to, you know, do stuff for, like actual stuff, you know, those are the classes that I always got more out of, right? I remember, and the other thing about college is never be afraid if you have to drop a course. Because I think I only dropped one, maybe two courses in my whole time there, right? And the one class is like, you can tell, like, from the orientation night, if this is really going to work or not. So I was in this one class, and I want to say it was at, I think it was either, it may have been Monco, but I forget if it was Monco or Cabrini. But it's like orientation, I knew this thing isn't going to work. Just because of the structure of the class, the teacher, I just didn't get a good vibe. And I dropped it, and it's always important, like, to have a good guidance counselor too, right? So I dropped the class, and I took this other class that, now I was a communications major, so I took a film class. And now I'm never going to be a director, like, you know. I make these videos on YouTube. Maybe it prepared me for YouTube. No, it was a really cool class, and we watched like these classic movies, had great discussions about them. I had to write a paper, and I wrote a paper on Jaws, and it was like I put a lot of like love and feel into it, because that's one of my favorite all-time movies. Like, you got to pick the movie you wanted to write a paper on, and it had to be a classic movie. It couldn't just be, you know. So I wrote one on Jaws, and I depicted different things. The professor loved it. And I got so much out of that class. Like the discussions we used to have on these movies, like The Godfather and, you know, all these different, you know, classic films, Citizen Kane, you know, stuff like that. And it was cool. The professor was great. And I'm so glad I dropped that one course and took that one instead. Because the course I dropped, I don't think I would have gotten anything out of. But this one, I certainly got a lot out of. I'm glad I had that experience. So you have to be real with yourself when you're going through school and you're going through college. Like, you really do. You have to know if this class just ain't for you, bail. I mean, do the drop, because believe me, it's not worth it. You want to find the stuff that's going to work for you. And I'm not saying you always can, but you got to find your own way, and you got to be truthful with yourself. And is this going to work or is it not? Now, some classes you have to take, there's no getting around it. But if you're taking something for a major, you got to find the ones that are just going to work for you. What are you going to get the most out of? What's going to benefit you? Because, you know, in college, you do have to be, selfish. I mean, you do. You're there for you. You know, you're there to benefit yourself. And to, you know, go where you want to go professionally, right? So, and like I said, man, I know it's the old saying, but if I can get through it, anybody can. I absolutely encourage people to challenge themselves to do it. Now, am I going to do graduates? No. I know you can do it all online. My boss did. He told me, hey, if you want to do your... I'm like, look, I've served my time and then some with school. I'm good now. No graduates for me. But I'm glad I had a mother who challenged me to get through it and to, you know, fight through those tough situations, just get through it. And, you know, she was right. You know, the moms, they know. Or the dads, right? They know. And we're almost to Patel's. See how far away it is? This is almost 50 minutes. But it's worth it. They got so much stuff in there that I like. Talk about stuff you grew up on, right? Some of the foods in there and the snacks. Stuff I grew up with. I hope I don't miss it. It's kind of tucked away, like. But yeah, so things are going all right. Things are going well for my mom, for my dad. My dad actually just had hip surgery. Had to have hip replaced last month, but he's doing okay. My mom's doing good. I got to thinking the other day, I'm like, I don't know, sometimes like thoughts just enter your mind, and I'm thinking like, I think I got another 10 years in me for work. I'm thinking, you know, as long as I'm in the situation I'm in now, I'm not with anybody, no kids or anything like that, I think I got another 10 years in me until I retire. As long as things are looking okay financially, and, because it's like, you know, you have to be truthful with yourself. Like, how long do I really want to do? I always say I don't want to be one of those people that's working until I'm like, you know, as soon as I retire, I have to go to the home or something, you know, like, like, I want to retire when I still have years left where I can enjoy, do some things, maybe do a little traveling or whatever. So I'm thinking like 10 years. I've always liked that number, 55. And that's not it. And so I'm gonna be 45 in a couple weeks. So I'm thinking another 10 years I'll be 55. And as long as things are looking good, I might, you know, I might say, okay, work world, kick my butt for 35 years. I think I'm good. I think it's coming up, man. This place, it does sneak up on you. Nope, that's not it. All these places look the same too, so it's like here it is. They have a big enough sign out front. Hard to miss that. All right, don't hit that guy. Okay, there we go. Patel Food Market. And sometimes, if I remember correct, on Sundays this place can get kind of crowded, but it's all good. It's all good. Back out, back out, back out. And we're gonna go up. Alright. Woo! That was a hike. Well, a fun one, man. I'm glad, you know, we talked about a bunch of different stuff. I'm ready to go in and get some groceries. And gonna enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I hope you all do the same. You all take care. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging in here with me for about 50 minutes of joy. But what do you always got to do, right? You got to leave those likes. Leave as many as we can, right? We got to hit the subscribe button if you already haven't done so. Hit the bell icon so you're notified all future content from yours truly. We're going to have some more. We're going to do some review vids. We're going to do some this week in review. We're going to do some Ross vlogs. I just got to get better at the music. I think I know what to do now, so I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna be okay. But we're gonna do that, and there'll be more into life. We'll have some pickups. We'll do some stuff. You know, there's a hodgepodge of things. You know how it goes on the channel. But thanks for all thanks for all the kind words as always, and to the continued support to the channel, and from what I bring to all of you good people out there of YouTube land. And until then, as Kojak would say, who loves you, baby? All right, I'll see you all on the next one. Take care.